China after he referred to Taiwan as a country in a promotional interview. The backlash was swift from both sides. Many accused Cena of cowardice for joining the long list of celebrities and companies that have kowtowed to China after taking an errant step in the region's delicate political minefield. And many of Cena's Chinese fans were not quick to forgive either. One Weibo comment, like thousands of times in response to the video, said, "Please say Taiwan is part of China in Chinese. Otherwise, we will not accept your apology."
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Viral as we talk about WWE star turned action movie star John Cena apologizes to China for calling Taiwan a country. Yes, John Cena, who's out promoting his new movie F9, Fast and Furious 9, did some media rounds, but unfortunately John Cena didn't know everything he thought he knew. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag ViralHereOnConnect, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, Miss Karen. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. As we talk about WWE star turned action star John Cena promoting his new film F9, The Fast and Furious 9. After he was supposed to promote it and do media rounds, John Cena promoted and thought that the movie was going to be debuted in Taiwan, but John Cena got a little bit carried away by calling it China. In a way, Taiwan mixed with China, confused the two. Got me confused. But John Cena trying to do PR control and trying to clear the air up with China for making that big mistake. Let's get to the latest on what had transpired with this.
Cena is declaring his love and respect for China after a major political misstep. He issued an apology for referring to Taiwan as a country, which triggered a backlash from fans. ABC's Megan Tevruzian has more.
This morning, action star John Cena is backpedaling, profusely apologizing to China after calling Taiwan a country during an interview promoting F9, his latest movie in the Fast and Furious franchise. In a video posted to Weibo, a social media site used in China, Cena apologizes in Mandarin. The apology coming after the professional wrestler turned actor told a Taiwanese reporter Taiwan is the first country that can watch the F9 film. Beijing considers Taiwan part of China, even though it is a self-ruled democratic island. Cena's comments seeming to offend many of his fans even after his apology. One Weibo user writing, "Please say Taiwan is part of China in Chinese. Otherwise, we will not accept your apology." That comment was liked thousands of times.
China market is a massive portion of being castable. So I think it sort of reveals that there's a lot on the line for him personally to perpetuate what has been building up to be a pretty successful, mainstream movie career.
Cena's apology is the latest in a string of incidents where celebrities and companies aiming to do big business in China have had to backtrack after missteps involving China's sensitive political issues.
Without the Chinese market, many of the blockbusters we see would never enter profitability.
Back in 2019, the NBA had to do damage control after the general manager of the Houston Rockets tweeted in support of the Hong Kong protests.
F9 premiered internationally in 8 countries over the weekend, raking in $136 million in China alone. After Cena's comments about Taiwan, fans have threatened to boycott the film. Andrew.
As you see right there, John Cena trying to clean up and got himself a little bit too carried away by saying that Taiwan, which with China, Taiwan is part of China. Taiwan is a independent country of its sorts in a way, but it's still part of China. But they're kind of have their own rules and divisions, just like China does. Well, Cena knew that China was the big money for his film, but a lot of people here domestically in the States believe John Cena is a wimp and he's trying to apologize to China in more ways than one. Well, let's get to what you people had to say about John Cena apologizing to China for calling Taiwan a country with this.
for telling the truth, but maybe we should be used to Hollywood hypocrisy by now. This is actor John Cena apologizing for calling Taiwan a country. Roll tape.
我有一个错误，我必须说，现在就是很重要。我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。我很抱歉，对我的错误，对不起，我很抱歉。你必须了解，我很爱，很尊重中国跟中国人。
Okay, he's sorry. He can't say what for, because that would mean calling Taiwan a country, and he'd have to apologize all over again. Oh, tortuous logic here. Of course, this is about money. Cena has a big following in China. His new Fast and Furious movie just opened over there with $155 million worth of ticket sales. He knows he could lose big time if he doesn't apologize for his mistake. This isn't the first time China has used its economic power like this. Basketball took a hit at Houston Rockets.
To the Communist Party of China? Kind of pathetic. I'd say John Cena's a little bit of a wuss now in my book.
A country. Here's WWE star John Cena apologizing for doing just that.
你好，中国，这是叫西娜。我必须说，现在在《速度与激情》中，我做很多采访。
All right, we'll spare you the rest because I don't speak Mandarin, Gordon. I know you understand what's going on here. But this is the same face I used to make when I would get in a lot of trouble with my parents. So obviously, John Cena, as some people are calling him now, spelled like X-I-N-A, but like President Xi here. But what is he doing, and why was this such a big deal?
Well, actually, you didn't show even the worst of it because he goes on and it actually gets more craven. He is trying to promote Fast and Furious 9, F9. And he gave an interview to Taiwan media where he called Taiwan a country. And so Chinese media then got really upset. And the clip that you showed is from Weibo, which is the Chinese social media platform, where he's apologizing to China and the Chinese people and saying he's very, very respectful of China and the Chinese people. This just shows the power of China to intimidate. And we, of course, allow this to happen because we're Americans and oblivious. But really, this is wrong.
Right.
It really is hard to imagine a more groveling apology for telling the truth, but maybe we should be used to Hollywood hypocrisy by now. This is actor John Cena apologizing for calling Taiwan a country. Roll tape.
我有一个错误，我必须说，现在就是很重要。我爱更尊重中国跟中国人。我很抱歉，对我的错误，对不起，我很抱歉。你必须了解，我很爱，很尊重中国跟中国人。
Okay, he's sorry. He can't say what for, because that would mean calling Taiwan a country, and he'd have to apologize all over again. Oh, tortuous logic here. Of course, this is about money. Cena has a big following in China. His new Fast and Furious movie just opened over there with $155 million worth of ticket sales. He knows he could lose big time if he doesn't apologize for his mistake. This isn't the first time China has used its economic power like this. Basketball took a hit after the Houston Rockets general manager supported Hong Kong's freedom demonstrators. Airlines have to be very careful about how they refer to Taiwan on their schedules. China is an international bully. And that is very important at this particular moment because we want to know if COVID-19 started in that lab in Wuhan, in China. We want the truth. Did they use their money to intimidate the World Health Organization, which whitewashed the initial investigation? Now, instead of calling for an American probe, the Biden team wants an easily manipulated international investigation. Did they get to us? China would do anything to avoid responsibility for the COVID catastrophe.
journal seems to be making objective reporting, and many corporate media outlets silently edit the reports. How does Biden in office change the narrative? We then discuss the death of the father of hybrid rice. How does the CCP use him to solidify political justifications? And John Cena, the newest to apologize to the CCP. I'm David Zhang. Catch us on Beyond the Noise, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Actor, star of Fast and the Furious 9, aka F9 for short, doing some publicity, is doing an interview, mentions in his interview that the people in Taiwan, that the country of Taiwan will be the first country that will experience F9. F9, I guess, is being released in Taiwan before anywhere else, and he specifically mentioned that Taiwan will be the first country to see it. Big problem for the Chinese. They don't think Taiwan's a country. They hate Taiwan. Taiwan's part of China. There's this big thing going on that you'd think John Cena would know about, but he didn't until, of course, China picked up the phone, called him, and told him, you better get on the Twitter right now, and you better apologize for thinking and saying that Taiwan is its own country. It is part of China. Otherwise, we will cancel you, censor you. There will be no contracts. There will be no billion-dollar wrestling matches. There will be no F9, F10, F11, F12, F whatever. FU is what China's saying, unless you do this apology. So John Cena, of course he succumbed to his communist dictators. Of course he did what China told him, because much like LeBron James, he doesn't want to lose out on millions and millions of dollars of revenue, even if it means walking back his own personal feelings, morals, or basically whatever is the actual right thing to do. He wants to, break the bank. So he records this apology, but he records this apology in Chinese.
你好，中国，这是乔西娜。我必须说，现在在速度与激情中，我做很多采访。
He speaks Chinese, but apparently his Chinese, like his acting, is so bad that they had to put Chinese subtitles underneath it. So he's speaking Chinese in this apology. They realize Chinese people aren't going to know what the hell he's saying, so they subtitled it. Much like when you're watching like 90 Day Fiancé and the foreign women that they bring over from the Ukraine to marry the ugly American men, they are speaking English, but it's so broken that they still have the subtitles so you can understand what they're saying. And I'm watching this thing and I'm listening to myself and I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea what he's saying. He's supposedly apologizing. So we went online and we typed it into like Google Interpret or whatever, and we actually know now what John Cena is saying in his apology. We were able to look at we put in the Chinese video and it spit out a written transcript of so I have now here, ladies and gentlemen, I'll read it along and I will interpret John Cena's apology for you to the Chinese government for referring to Taiwan as a country. Here we go.
你好，中国，这是乔西娜。
Actor and former WWE wrestler John Cena professing his love and respect for the Chinese people on Weibo. He angered many on the mainland when he called Taiwan a country during a promotional interview for F9. China is the world's largest movie market, and the Fast and Furious franchise is extremely popular there. Well, Will Ripley is covering the controversy live from Taipei and joins us now live. Good to see you, Will. It's funny reading about this. Someone described his apology as groveling. He really tried to walk it back.
He said very 4 times, Linda. It's very, very, very important that people know how sorry I am, how much I love China. And he did say it in Mandarin, which you got to give John Cena credit for. I have to admit, Linda, I was not expecting when I woke up this morning to necessarily be doing a live report about John Cena, but I shouldn't be surprised because this kind of thing happens all the time when it comes to Taiwan and Hong Kong and Tibet and other topics that China considers these red line issues. And there are a lot of people on social media, on Weibo in particular, in the mainland who are very nationalists, who are proud of their country, and who get very angry and can turn very quickly on a popular celebrity if they feel that China has been disrespected. It's kind of like social media in the US, the cancel culture. But the cancel culture in China revolves around when people disrespect the mainland. And so I don't know if we have another clip of John Cena speaking Mandarin. It's kind of interesting to watch. If we have it, let's play it.
我必须说，现在这是很重要。我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。
That is impressive. And you would think that people in China would give him credit that, he has been studying Mandarin for years. It's clearly not his first language, and yet he's making the effort. He gave an interview with a Taiwanese broadcaster, Linda, and all he said was, you can watch Taiwan, you can watch F9, and Taiwan's the first country, is the word he used. And that was the big offense, that he referred to Taiwan as a country. And this is an island that is claimed by the mainland. This is an island that China says it's part of its territory, even though they both have been separately ruled for more than 70 years. And by the way, it's not the first time that this has happened with Hollywood movies, with airlines, with fashion brands. This has been going on for years, and especially because money talks and the Chinese market is huge. I mean, F9 brought in $136 million over the weekend just in China to help make it the biggest Hollywood pandemic opening so far. That is why you see what some are calling groveling happening, Linda, and you'll see it again.
Exactly. It has. His movie is doing well, and China, of course, is calling for a boycott, even though that movie is already playing there. We have to leave it there for now. Will, Ripley, and Taipei, thanks for being with us.
Beijing considers any suggestion of Taiwan's independence crossing its red line and has been increasingly trying to use economic power to police speech on the topic around the world. On Tuesday, Cena offered an apology on Weibo, China's popular Twitter-like social media platform. Speaking again in Mandarin, Cena did not refer to Taiwan by name or discuss the incident in detail, but he did say he did a lot of interviews and made a mistake. He said, "I'm sorry for my mistake. I must say now it's very, very, very important that I love and respect even more China and the Chinese people." Now, you will note that F9 took in $160 million over the weekend. $136 million came from China. So the reason John Cena is doing this is, of course, because he wants to make money, and because his studio wishes to make money. Okay, in the same way that the NBA has defended China for taking over Hong Kong, for the same reason LeBron James came out and ripped Daryl Morey, then the GM of the Houston Rockets, for having the temerity to say that Hong Kong ought to be free. Instead, LeBron James, great civil rights crusader, came out and said that Daryl Morey didn't know what he was talking about, which is a shot coming from LeBron James, who never knows what he's talking about. But LeBron makes his money from China. The NBA makes its money from China. Okay, if you make your money from China, then you seem quite willing to overlook China's human rights violations. So China is
very sorry to all of the Chinese fans for referring to Taiwan as a country in Fast and Furious 9. Now, I mean, who thinks that Taiwan is a country? I mean, yes, we have a treaty that really kind of demands that we say that. But we had a treaty, the British had a treaty with Hong Kong, too. They were supposed to stand up and protect that. What's a treaty? You know what I mean?
What even is it? What is it? It was a piece of paper? I don't even know.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like a treat.
So could we play now the audio of John Cena apologizing to the people of China? Now,
have the dead presidents, right?
You gotta have it. Gotta have it. I mean, he was standing up for America there. I mean, I'm so glad to see everybody is really standing up for our values overseas. You know,
and I love how
they come here and preach to us because we need it so desperately, and then they go over and they'll deny the reality They'll deny that wishes are horses. They'll deny that pigs have wings. They'll deny that the moon is Stilton. They deny all of these wonderful things. Anyway, I think it's really wonderful that they go over and they are there for the people of China. Well, not the people, but the people that matter. You know what I mean?
Well, the Communist Party people. You know, the ones very tippy top of...
Yes.
Yeah, that's so great. Has there ever been a more pathetic apology to anybody at any time? I am so hun, wo shi hun, bo chen. How many times are you going to say so sorry?
And he didn't do anything wrong.
It's embarrassing.
Point out that he didn't actually do anything wrong.
And he said he made a mistake 3 times. What was your mistake? Why did you specify what that was? What was your mistake? That Taiwan's a country? Maybe nobody knows that. It's been 70 years. So
here's what's going to happen.
People don't know.
Here is what's going to happen. Mark my words. This is in your future, America.
Fans in China after he referred to Taiwan as a country in a promotional interview.
我很抱歉，对我的错误。
The backlash was swift from both sides. Many accused Cena of cowardice for joining the long list of celebrities and companies that have kowtowed to China after taking an errant step in the region's delicate political minefield. And many of Cena's Chinese fans were not quick to forgive either. One Weibo comment, like thousands of times in response to the video, said, "Please say Taiwan is part of China in Chinese. Otherwise, we will not accept your apology."
All right, you see right there, a lot of people speaking out loud, a lot of conservatives, such as Glenn Beck, Ben Shapiro, and many others who are saying that you don't need to try to apologize to China. We know there's a lot more controversy than that too, with the NBA sort of blurring the lines, but we don't know we know what's going on, but we trying to figure out. We know China is a communist country. We know America is a democracy, and we're trying to keep that at bay. But, you know, John Cena is human just like we are. We make mistakes, and we own up to it and take accountability. So hopefully John Cena learned his lesson and will do his research. And, you know, I know he like to speak Mandarin, but do your research and move forward so you won't make no mistakes like that ever again. Thank you all for watching this edition of Vibes. We talk about John Cena apologizing to China for calling Taiwan a country. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you next time for another edition of Vibes.